What's going on, everyone, and welcome to Movie Emporium's movie review of In the Heights, the newest film from director Jon M. Chu. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome, hit that like button, as well as comment below on any video that you watch, including this one. So this movie, In the Heights, is based off the Tony Award-winning Best Musical from Lin-Manuel Miranda, as well as Quiara Legua Huertas. And so this story, this In the Heights musical, basically centers around a character named Huznavi, who of course is played by Hamilton's Anthony Ramos. And he's an individual that has bigger aspirations than where he is now. He lives in this place called Washington Heights. He owns a bodega, which is a shop, and he and his cousin Sonny basically run it day to day. Well, in essence, he wants to move back to the Dominican Republic where his dad is. He remembers better times, and he is basically motivated to open his own kind of, stand, his own place in this world in the Dominican Republic and live off his days. Well, because it's a musical and it has many, many characters, we meet in essence, there's four main characters in this movie. We have Bobby, which of course is played by Hawkins. He's basically Uznavi's best friend. He's an individual that works in the Jimmy Smits, basically cab company, I guess you could say. We have this character named Vanessa, who's played by Melissa Barrera, who ends up becoming kind of the love interest to Uznavi. There's a lot of running gags and stuff like that with her. But she's a clothes designer, or somebody who wants to work as a clothes designer, who ends up working at the local beauty salon. And then we have Nina, who's played by Leslie Grace, who is the daughter of the Jimmy Smits character, and she's gone to Stanford. But she's had some bad experiences, so she's decided to quit. She's come back to Washington Heights. And in essence, what this musical is doing is it's showing the gentrification of this town, of this small block in Washington or in New York City. And in essence, because this is a very Latino area, a very Hispanic area, the world that they encompass is something that they have to keep in check, to keep, the dreamers dreaming, the people, remembering who they are and what they are, and so on and so forth. So it's basically about how these characters have to deal with all everyday change and everyday life, and how they have to keep the mindset of who they are and their nationality and stuff like that. And it has a whole collective of different characters. Of course, we have like Daphne Vega, who of course was in Orange is the New Black. We have Stephanie Beatriz, who of course was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And so in essence, these characters really kind of fill out this world, and it's a movie that really pops with its vibrancy. It really shows you the culture and the ideas and the nature of who these individuals are. And I see why this was a Tony Award winning musical, because it pops with such vibrancy, with such heart, with such passion, that it really feels like an authentic experience. I'm not like a Latino individual, I'm not Hispanic, but I really feel like these people are very welcoming. They're very, passionate about their roots. And there's this one woman that Uznavi and the rest of the community have always looked up to, which was Abuela. And you can just see that they have a lot of respect for her. You can see that these people will stand up for one another. And I think that's why this musical works so well. And I think why it's so mesmerizing when you watch it, because of how authentic and realistic it feels. But with that said, watching this movie, taking it all in, it is 143 minutes long, which is as long as the Broadway musical. It has a lot of moving parts. It has a lot of pieces, a lot of musical points and musical moments. It has a lot of set pieces, a lot of dance numbers. And so with that said, with Jon M. Chu directing, he directed Crazy Rich Asians, very, very highly popular, very well liked. The question remains is, does the adaptation from musical on Broadway to movie, does it work, or does it fail in the essence of stuff like Rent and Family Opera, which I was not highly, I love those musicals on Broadway, but I hate those movies with a passion. I just don't think they're very good. And I will say this, the movie is well done. It's well acted. It's very vibrant and very fun and energetic. These characters are outlandish a lot of times, but they're so much fun to watch. I think the beauty shop individuals, the Daphne Vega character and the Stephanie Beatriz, as well as their mom, is really like some of the standouts. I think Sonny is one of the standouts in the movie, because he's always like making fun of his cousin and stuff like that. I think the movie, like I said, has a lot of heart. heart, has a lot of passion. It does a lot of really cool things with the musical set pieces and stuff like that. And it's able to expand upon the idea of just the watching it in a stage production. Here we get to expand to actually New York when they do like the fantasy numbers and stuff like that, like that what you see in the trailer. It really feels like it has a lot of potency to it. So with that aspect, I really think the movie is a fun ride. It's enjoyable. It has a lot of great moments, and I think Anthony Ramos is going to be a star one day. I think he's a very passionate individual. I think the fact that he was able to get the part in Hamilton has really helped him as an actor. And of course, Lin-Manuel Miranda pops up as the shaved ice guy, the guy that gives shaved ice to people. And I think that's a little self-serving. I think if he wasn't in the movie, it'd been fine. So it's a little much that he's in the movie, but it is his product, it is his project, so it is what it is. And there's a really funny callback to Hamilton and stuff like that with a phone call and whatnot. But the things I have problems with, and this is either going to make you really upset or not, is I think the movie's too long. I think at 143 minutes, I think it's a Broadway musical that works as 143 minutes with an intermission. You know, I think it's very, very different watching it in a confined state like that. But when you get into the movie aspects, I think it moves at like a slower pace than it should. I think sometimes the act breaks and the story movements and beats are a little slow and sluggish. I think, you know, I feel like when like the songs happen, they happen and they're kind of like just randomly happening, which is the part of a musical that is what it is. But I think if you had confined it, and I think if you had toned it down, like taken a little bit out of the meat of the actual movie and toned it down to like a 2 hour and 10-minute movie, I think it would have been just fine. But there are a lot of points in this movie where I just feel like it kind of drags and kind of feels a little sluggish and a little haphazardly done, and that's just because they wanted to keep the authenticity of the musical itself and what they did with Hamilton. But when you're doing a movie aspect, you have to make cuts every once in a while, and that just doesn't happen here. And the other problem I have with this movie, you know, I know when you get to a musical Broadway, the way it's developed, the way the story's told, the characters are not always fleshed out properly. So sometimes you'll get a set of characters and then they'll kind of disappear and stuff like that, and you go to another set of characters. But when it comes to movie form, it's a little bit of a whiplash problem where, you know, you'll have the Corey Hawkins and the Leslie Grace character, who, to me personally, have a very thinly plotted character development. So there's not 100% like that I'm on board with the characters. It just feels like sometimes they're there and then they kind of disappear, and then they all of a sudden they're, you know, in love and they're doing their thing. And I don't know. It's the same thing with like the Jimmy Smits character. A lot of these characters are just kind of, they're thrust in there, and then the kind of thinly written parts to kind of get to the next scene doesn't entirely become effective and work. So it's not bad. It doesn't take away from the movie not being entertaining. But when you have a 2 hour and 23-minute movie, and you still have some problems with the characters and how they're written and stuff like that, and, you know, when they get to certain scenarios, situations, it becomes a little weird. And that's why I said, if you can condense it to 2 hours or 2 hours and 10 minutes, I think you can focus it and harness the script a little bit to make it a little more adjustable and a little more finely tuned and a little more straight focused. Which I'm not saying the movie doesn't have focus, but sometimes like the plotting and the characters get a little out of focus and a little wonky in their kind of development. So, but with the negative stuff out of the way, it's still an entertaining musical. You'll love it if you love the Broadway musical. You'll have a lot of fun with these characters. I think John M. Chu has a really competent directorial style behind what he does. I think when you see it, I think he's very good at directing people and how they act. But it's a movie that just has a lot of heart and a lot of passion, a lot of energy and electricity, that when you see the dance numbers and the songs and stuff like that pop up on screen, you are constantly just, you know, going with the groove and the energy and so on and so forth. So anyways, that'll do it. That'll be my take on In the Heights. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below what you think of In the Heights. Like I said, this is a very early screening. It was a Mother's Day screening, so happy Mother's Day to everyone as well. But let me know what you think in the comments of the actual musical. Are you excited for the movie? All that good stuff. Otherwise, hit that subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.